Welcome all to the weekly outlook. Boone here from EWPRO. Getting straight into the weekly outlook, looking at the DXY on the daily. Nothing's changed. I would really like to see this like an A, a B, and a C down here. Just breaking that low, possibly down to this 100 fib. So I'm looking for a little bit more downside. We have 3 down in here on the H4. It bounced off that 100 fib and it's starting to give another correction in here. So we may get a little bit longer correction in here and then another one down, giving us 5 down. And ideally that goes and breaks the daily low that I was talking about, this one over here. On the H1, you can see here, we got a bear hidden in here. So I wouldn't be surprised if this at least goes and breaks that. And then we get some sort of an A, a B, and a C up for your flat, and then another one down. AU on the daily, we're looking for this C up. I was sort of looking for like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then like 1, 2, 3 in here. Instead, we just got an impulse, and this is rather impulsive going up as well. So this is possibly the end of the wave B. It has broken this B wave in here. So we may get the A, B, C up to this 100 fib on the daily. On the H4, we've been waiting for a correction on the lower time frames. We were starting to get bearish divergence last week, and I was sort of looking for a larger correction and take off, but it's sort of like a flat in here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're getting a 5th one up. We are still getting bearish divergence, so it does become risky to buy. Ideally, I'd be looking for a larger correction in here and then look for a buy for an A, B, and a C. And that may turn motive, of course, because we are looking at that daily target, that 100 fib, around the 69.45 area. GU on the daily. This one here, we're looking at the lower time frames to see if this was over. See if this was over in here. But on the lower time frames, like I've mentioned over the last couple of weeks, we're getting a bull hidden in here. Well, we got a bull hidden in here to go and break that top. And that's pretty much what's happening. There was a nice correction in here to buy just on the news. We had that US news in here to complete this correction in here to give us another one up. If you're not in that, it's going to be quite difficult to get in. You'd really have to wait for a correction on the M15 before you could look for a buy. You really need a correction before you jump into the market if you're not already in it. EU, that's a bit of a mess here. Oh, this was during the week. But nothing's changed on the daily. We're looking for that A, B, this C up to that 100 fib. H4, we got the 5 up in here. Larger correction, and we're sort of getting 1, 2. We're in a wave 3, and we can get a wave 4 and then a wave 5 up. this was looking rather bullish in here. We had that nice impulse up. We got 3 down, so this was the buy in here for that to go and break that top. We now have that bearish divergence, so it was quite risky. There is a bull hidden in here, so this is going to go and break that top, and this may even turn into a larger correction, like we get an A, a B, and we're in a wave C up, or it may turn motive to get up to that 100 fib we're looking at on the daily. So again, to get into it now, it's going to be quite difficult, because you really need to get in these on the lower time frames. It's already pretty much gone. Got some sort of a flat in here on the lower time frames for 1, 2, 3. You have to wait for that wave 4, and then you look to trade that wave 5 up. That's the safest way. Wait for an M15 correction, and it'd be a similar size correction to this over here, wherever this wave 3 ends. So you'd be waiting for a wave 4, and then you trade that wave 5 up. NU come down and broke this low in here. It did come down and break that low. So very similar to AU, we got some sort of an A, B, C in here, and then I'm looking for this A, B, C up to that target. There was a chance that we get another one down here on the H4, and it still is very possible. You have to be very careful with this pair, New Zealand dollar. We got 1, 2, 3. Getting a wave 4 in here. We can still get another one down in here. We do have a bear hidden, so you have to be very careful. Ideally, to buy, you really want to see this go and break that top to take out that possible bear hidden, and then if you get a correction, well, then I'd be looking for the buy. It's very difficult now. It's quite risky to buy it. We have 5 up on the H4. Sorry, on the H1, we had these 5 up in here, and I was thinking, okay, well, we got a nice impulse down, and I was just looking for a correction in here for that wave 5 down. It never went. Instead, it's giving us quite sharp move up. So it's pretty, we already have the bearish divergence between the wave 3 and 5. So I'd be expecting a larger correction than these over here, but it's around the same size. So if you was going to trade it, you'd really be scalping, and you'd be looking at some sort of a 5-wave structure, like 1, 2, 3, wait for your wave 4, and then trade that wave 5 up just to go and break that top. That's pretty much all you can do. You have to wait for this correction. That's the safest way. Wait for the correction and then look for a buy on the lower time frames. GY, we're waiting for this correction. This is actually a possible bull hidden here. We got that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up in here. We had the bearish divergence. We got a very sharp move down, but there is a possible bull hidden here. So, like I said last week, we'll either go up and break this top, or we get a very deep correction to this wave here and then fall over. So we are looking for a rather deep correction in here. I'm more bearish on it than anything. But you've got to be very patient, because like I mentioned, there is a possible bull hidden on here on the higher time frame on the daily. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a very deep retracement from this wave here. It may come back to the 78.6 or the 90 fib. So be patient with it, wait for a nice sell setup, and then we can look to sell it. I dare say on the lower time frame, there's more than likely a bull hidden in here or something. Yeah, it's more on the M30 by the look of it. So at this stage, you have to be very careful. I mean, we're getting all this bearish divergence, but we do have a possible bull hidden in here. So, you know, this is looking rather bullish on the lower time frames to go up and break that top. Would I trade that? Well, not really. It's a very risky trade. I'd be waiting till it breaks the top, give us even more bearish divergence, and then give us a nice impulse down, a correction, and then you could look for the sell. And this is what I'm waiting for. Wherever this ends, this is what I'm waiting for. A nice impulse down, correction, and then a sell setup to sell. If you're scalping the buys, I mean, you can scalp the buys, but you know, yeah, it's quite risky because you're selling. You're buying into a correction. UY on the daily is very similar to GY. This, if you've been following my videos for a while, ever since we got this one down and we started to get this, I've been looking at this as the B wave. And then we get an A, B, C. So this one can go and break that top, and this is a running flat in here. When we go up and break that top. Excuse me. GY is a little bit different there on the daily, but this one here, this one doesn't actually have a bull hidden. It has a lower low. So we have a lower low in here. On the H4, it looks very similar to GY. It looks rather bearish. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get a lower low here. We have reached that 38.2 fib retracement of this, and we're getting a bear hidden here. So like GY, you know, if you get a sell set up, you can look to sell to go and break that low. Again, there isn't a sell set up on it as of yet. This may even be giving a bull. It is giving a possible bullish hidden divergence in here. You know, so ideally for the sell, you know, you want a nice impulse down, breaking this low here, and then giving you a correction, and then you can look for a sell. Until you get that, you really can't sell it, because on the lower time frames, there's more than likely a bull hidden here, and there is. It's very similar to GY. There's a bull hidden on the M30, a possible bull hidden. So that's what I mean. You know, if you want to sell it, you got to wait until this low here is broken, or else, you know, this bull hidden can play out and go and break that top. So, yeah, got to be careful of that. Yeah, really, you know, if you're looking for the buy, it's just scalping. You CAD on the daily. Well, on the daily, on the daily, we never got this wave Z up. It never went up and broke that ending point of wave Y. Instead, we got this really large correction in here. On the lower time frames, we got that 1, 2, 3, 4. We were looking for that wave 5 up. We got that, and now it's more on the lower time frames. You even this, you have to be really careful buying at this stage. Sorry, selling, because you know, even here, I mean, we do have bearish divergence overall, but there is this possible bull hidden here. So this can go up and break that top. I'm not really looking for it to break that top, but it is possible. If it doesn't come up and break this top, we may just get a very deep correction in here to this wave and then get a C down like an A, B, C, or it may turn motive. Ideally, like I was mentioning on the JPY pairs, ideally we get a nice impulse down here, taking out the possible bull hidden, and then get a nice correction, and then we can look for at least a C down. On the H1, there really isn't much at all. I was looking for, as you could see, we had a nice impulse down. This was very flat, and I was sort of waiting for an A, B, C up in here. It did sort of try to give one for a running flat and then sell it. But yeah, it didn't. I mean, it was all there. There was a bear hidden in here between these two tops to go and break this low. But ideally, I would have liked to see an impulse, a correction back to the 50, and then just a regular correction, and then go. This was quite difficult to get on. But yeah, it has gone and broken the low now. So really, you're starting to get bullish divergence in here too now on the H1. So be very careful buying. Sorry, selling at this stage. And for a buy, you really need a nice impulse up, breaking these tops here and giving you a correction, and then you could look for at least an A, B, C up. And you never know, it may turn into 5 waves. We get that deep correction to this move in here, like I was mentioning with that possible bull hidden on the H4. Take a quick look at the Swissy. Nothing's changed on the daily. This has gone a little bit further than I thought. I was looking at an A, we get a B in here, and I was looking for that C up. Well, nothing's really changed. But this has become quite motive down. And this may turn into a running flat. We get another one down in here in the B wave, breaking this low, and then we get an A, B, C as a running or expanding flat, and then possibly more downside because of how deep this has gone to this wave here. It's back down to the 90 fib there. H4, we got we got 5 down. We are getting a bear hidden in here between this top and wherever this ends. It still can give us another one down in here with a bear hidden. So again, you've got to be really careful with the buy, especially on the H1 now. We have bearish divergence in here. We got the 5 up. That was fine. We had all the bearish divergence. We got a slightly larger correction and a break of the top, but we still have a lot of bearish divergence here. So ideally, for the sell, and really you can only really look for a sell. I mean, on the lower time frames, you may be getting a bull hidden in here for another one up. But I'd be waiting for a lower low here, and then a sell setup, a correction and a sell setup to go and break this low. Especially with that bearish divergence, be very careful buying into this now. I was looking for a correction in there to buy. I actually did get in this before the news events. This is the news event here. Got out of half, and the second half's come down and taken me out of break even. But if you got a nice bullish setup, you could look for a buy here with the possible bull hidden here. But like I mentioned, buying it is quite risky because on the daily, on the H1, we do have all that bearish divergence. So if you do get a bullish setup, make sure you get it to break even as soon as you can. Yeah. EG, we're waiting for a correction. We got, this is looking really good. We got all the bullish divergence on the daily. We got a nice impulse up. We're waiting for a correction. And that's what we're possibly getting. I was looking for a fifth one up. It was looking good. Last week, I believe, we were waiting for a little correction in here to buy for that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It never went. Instead, it's giving a larger correction here. So I'll actually take that off. But this time factor here was looking spot on. It started to go and then it just fell over. It didn't give us a buy setup to buy. So now I'm waiting for a correction of this, possibly back to the 50 fib. So waiting for a correction in here, some sort of a nice correction, and then I can look for a buy for at least an A, B, C, and more than likely this will turn motive. So I am looking for the buy on this. It's not quite ready yet though. We are getting 3 down in here. We'll just remove all this because that we didn't get that wave 5 up, so I might as well remove it. I'd have to be looking at this as some sort of a flat in here now. So we got an expanding flat, an A, a B, and a C up in here, expanding flat, and then we're getting 1, 2, 3 down. So you've really got to go down to the lower time frames and start looking for a buy. We do have bullish divergence on the H1. So any buy setup you get, you can look for it. It's not giving a buy setup at this stage. Even on the M15, we're still not getting any bullish divergence. So I'd be waiting, get some sort of 1, 2, 3 flat here, another one down, wait for the bullish divergence, get a bullish divergence on the M15, and then, any bullish setup on the lower time frames, I'd be looking for that buy. Not really interested in a sell, especially with that daily impulse up. WTI, I'm looking at that A, B, C. I was looking for the C down in here. That never went. We're still within this wave here. So unless we look at this as a contracting flat here, and I'm not really even liking that because we have 3 down in here. It's like the JPY pairs. We have the 3 down like that, 1, 2, 3 in here. So I sort of am looking for, an A, a B, and a C, and then an A, B, C, before we get the larger A, B, C. It's very choppy, this. As you can see, I was looking for a buy in here during the week. It never went. I am still looking for a buy for sure. We got a nice, we have that 5 down. We got a nice impulse up, so I'm looking for a correction in here and then look for a buy. Unfortunately, it's not playing nicely. Even on the H1, you can see I was looking for that wave 5 up, which we never got that wave 5 up. Instead, on the lower time frames, there's actually a bear hidden here to go and break that, break this low, and that's what it's done. Any buy setup I get on this, I'll be looking for buys. We're not getting any bullish divergence on the M15 yet, though. So like EG, I'd be waiting for, an A, B, C up in here. Another one breaking that low, and giving us a bull hidden. Sorry, a bullish divergence. And then if I get a bullish setup, well, then I'll start to look for the buys. Until I start to get bullish divergence, I really got to leave it alone. And yeah, I'm not too keen in the sell. So here's that bear hidden here. You can see it, this top didn't go and break this top over here, and we got a bear hidden in here. So, we seen that in the room. It didn't give us that buy setup, but we're still in this wave Z on the gold on the daily. We've got that 1, 2, 3, 4. We're still in this wave 5. The second target is that 161.8. It's already hit that, like 123.6, the first target that we were looking at. Sort of getting this slow wave 5 up on the H4. We got that 1, 2, 3, 4. We had that bull hidden in here, so we're looking for that wave 5 to go and break that top. In this wave here, it didn't go and break that top. Instead, it gave a very deep correction, which made it difficult. So now I'd have to look at this as some sort of an ending diagonal, in here, in this wave 5 on the lower time frames. I'd pretty much leave it alone. You're really only scalping up here. You'd be looking at the lower time frame scalping, and I'd be looking at the M15. There was this buy here. It's a nice looking buy. We got 1, 2, 3. You wait for the wave 4 and you trade that wave 5 up. Just scalping, you wait for, I'd be waiting for like a bull hidden in here. A confirmation, which I won't go into, but and then a buy set up to buy. You got to wait for that correction at least. Silver's very similar. This one, we didn't get that wave set up though. It still is possible, but the corrections, well, it's still valid. We're looking at that W, X, Y, X2, and a Z up in here. Up to the 2 targets, which I'll put on, because this still is valid. It has gone a little bit over, but so these are the targets I'd be targeting, that 123.6 first, and the second target, that 161.8. There was a buy in here that we were looking at in the room. That was your buy opportunity to get in this. Now, you pretty much have to wait for a larger correction. At this stage, we got a bear hidden, a possible bear hidden. We want this to go and break this top to take out that bear hidden and then give us a correction, and then we can start to look for the buy. I'd be waiting for this correction, so really sitting on the sideline waiting for a H4 correction. I mean, you can't really trade it on the lower time frames. It's very choppy. This is more of some sort of a flat here. It's turning motive, but this is where we're looking to buy in the group. Yeah, I mean, this more than likely will turn motive. Well, it has turned motive, so it's not really. It's more, you're more in a wave 3, like 1, 2, 3. You wait for that wave 4 and you trade that wave 5 up. Take a look at Bitcoin on the daily. This one we never got the wave Z up either, like silver. We didn't get that wave Z up. that we were looking for up in here. We're looking for that wave Z up in here. Instead, it's turned into a much larger correction. The good thing is we do have bullish divergence on the daily now in here. So any buy setup, you can start to look for buys. And it is giving you a buy setup. You know, you can see this here. It's corrective. So we're just waiting for a correction in here to be complete. And then we can start to look for a buy. It's more on the lower time frame, I think. We'll check that out, the M15. It's on the M30. I'd be looking at the M30 to trade this. We got a higher high here. So, but this looks rather corrective. So you'll have to be rather, you have to be pretty, it's not really looking nice for a buy. That's the problem. I mean, all this looks very corrective, but it's not really giving a nice buy setup yet. Ideally, it gives you some sort of a nice buy setup, and any buy setup you get, you can pretty much buy it against the low. You know, you definitely want your stop loss under here. But yeah, this is looking more bearish for another one down in here on this time frame. But then wherever you get a nice impulse up and a correction and a buy setup, I'd be looking for the buy. But I'm not convinced that this will go in here because it looks rather corrective for another lower low on the lower time frames. S&P 500, we already got that wave Z up. So I'm looking for this 50 fib retrace of all this move here. But like I've been mentioning, we got this bull hidden here with this, and it looks like it's going up to break that top. Excuse me, at this stage, it's a bear hidden. This top here hadn't been broken yet, but more than likely that top will get broken. You really have to wait for a correction. You know, if it looks corrective in here, you look for the buy to go and break that top. Other than that, I'd be leaving it alone. You know, especially now on the lower time frames, you'd be looking for a excuse me, an X2 or a wave 4. You're looking at some sort of WXY. You wait for the X2 and you trade that wave Z up or wave 5, whichever way you look at it. But yeah, you got to wait for that correction and then you look to buy. OU200, very similar to S&P. This one didn't give the bull hidden though. I was looking for a sell on the lower time frames. You know, and I still am. I can only sell this. You know, we got bearish divergence between the two tops. We got a nice impulse down, but this correction that I was looking for a correction is becoming very deep. It's past a 61.8 now. You know, so I'd be looking for at least an A, B, C. Yeah, it's not giving any sell setups, so I'm just looking for the sells, waiting for those sells set up, and then I'll be looking to sell. You know, for that, you know, wherever this ends, I'd be looking for a nice impulse down and a correction, and then look to sell to break this low here. I'm not really interested in the buys on the lower time frames. You're getting all the bearish divergence, so you know. Overall, you're getting all the bearish divergence. So it is risky to buy. I'm more interested in the sell. The FTSE, well, this is, we're waiting for that time factor. Looking for that like A, B, WX, Y, X2, and a Z up. I'm still looking for that time factor in here though. This has really fallen over. It's not a bear hidden. You possibly could get a wave Z up in here, or wave 5, and more than likely you will. We got like 1, 2, we're in a wave 3, you wait for that wave 4. We're already getting a bull hidden in here, but you wait for the time factor of this over here. Look for your buy setup, and trade the wave 5 up. You have to wait for this correction, and you can't really sell, but you can't really sell until this low here is broken, because that takes out that possible bull hidden. If this comes down, breaks that low, well, there is no bull hidden anymore, and then you wait for the correction and you sell. Lastly, the DAX, which really fell over. Yeah, I'd be looking for a sell, but it's not giving a sell. I sort of really, you get very difficult to buy this, because there is a bear hidden here. This can easily come down and break that low. Even though this looks impulsive, this can come down, break that low very easily at this stage. So you really want to go and break that top there, taking out the possible bear hidden, and then give you a correction, and then you can buy. Until it really does that, I'd be leaving it alone. Very similar on the H1, very similar to the FTSE. You'd be looking at a correction before you buy. You'd be looking at like 1, 2, 3. You wait for that wave 4 and a wave 5 up. It may or may not go and break that top because of that bear hidden. So you really want to see a nice correction in here before you even attempt to buy, because it may look corrective in here and then just fall over on you. So be careful with the buy. So I hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.